our next topic is on business. So Serena and I are both business women, and we have experienced the pandemic in a different way to maybe other people who've experienced it as small business owners. And so we thought it would be interesting to kind of talk through our own experiences, how things have changed, our learnings, everything like that. So myself, first of all, I run a small business as well as a charity. So my experience has been very different in both of those areas. So with regards to my business, it's tuition, it's called Beehive Tuition, and we provide tuition initially offline. So we were an offline tuition company. We didn't have any like real online presence. We didn't need to do anything in terms of the online space because we rely heavily on referrals. So when someone likes what we do, they tell their friend and it just was very, very, very simple in that sense. But the pandemic hit and we could only work online. Now, I'd been exploring the online space before that, but I wasn't quite ready to go fully in as the pandemic required me to do so. But on the other side of it now, we're probably not going to go back offline, which is super exciting because it means I can literally work from anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country, and it's a positive, I would say. It has been really hard to make the transition, but now we've made the transition. I think I want to stay there. I think that's the first major change for me. What about you, Serena? What was like the major change in your business pre-pandemic to post-pandemic?
Even that's awesome because even what you're saying about the freedom and stuff like that with the online thing. I mean, for me, first is just say, I remember us talking about like, you never want to share the lows until you've kind of got that story. I feel like I'm kind of like at that point where it's getting back on track to the point where I'm like, damn, like everything does happen for a reason. Especially, I'm actually very young, so I'm 18 and I decided to essentially drop out of my school like quite young to pursue this. And I remember after that lockdown started, I was still 17 at the time. And then I was like, damn, did I make a mistake? Like, maybe I should have stayed in school. I was like, as I left there, knowing that everything was kind of taking off and that I could study online. And then lockdown, everything down. And I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, I've just messed up. Even though I knew I can go back to school, but I was like, oh, I just wasted so much time. But during that time, I run essentially 3 businesses, but my main 2 online ones is an app. So that's my first one. It's a hair and beauty app where you can put your postcode in and it shows like all like their barbers and hairdressers in your area that you can book, right? So I was doing really good numbers before lockdown, and 1 week I think I even recruited 100 in 1 week. So that to all be erased in the pandemic because they all basically it's very hard to keep their interest in a new app with no clients booking due to a lockdown. So I remember just feeling so disheartened that all my hard work had just gone down the drain. But you know what? Since the pandemic's come back up again, I've been doing meetings with now celebrity stylists. Like, it's given me a lot more time to reevaluate where I want my brand to go. I've switched to a better software team. I've really just built on things which I feel like I wouldn't have taken it to this level so quickly if it wasn't for that time to really sort myself out. And that pandemic also gave me like a wake-up call to not just rely on, even though I love my business, I think it's a great app, I still had to make sure I had other options there, especially as someone that's not now going to university. It really forced me out of my comfort zone to kind of take on more than one project, which actually ended up being a really great thing because I have just recently launched my clothing brand, which is actually doing very well, as well as taking on quite a few clients in my marketing agency. So it really gave me that push to stretch myself that I wouldn't have stretched myself probably for another 10 years if it wasn't for this lockdown. Like my plan like for my life has like kind of pushed the extra mile. So it really just showed me that when I felt like my lowest, like I was so insecure, I was like, what have I done? I've just completely messed up. Like now I'm gonna have to go back. That's so embarrassing. Like go back a year and then whatever. You have 2 options. You can let it like, defeat you and, you just kind of surrender so soon, which I would have probably done because it was like a year of ongoing on and off. So that was quite a long time to be unsure. When you think about it, like, I feel like, especially if I didn't live at home, I would have definitely given up for the last 3 months because I have to then be like, no, you can't rely on this. So a year is actually quite a long time to really doubt yourself. constantly every day reevaluating your choices. But if you really stick to what you believe in, and it's so cliche, but if you have a dream and you know that you want a quality of life, if it inspires you, like, it's very rare for Black girls, especially my age, to be able to have the freedom to work from where they want and still earn good money on their own terms, you know. And I feel like I'm a great example of someone who didn't really do anything that no one else could do. Like, if you did want to choose that path, it was kind of for me to leave school. And if anyone felt like, I'm not encouraging anyone to drop out, please don't just leave now, like Serena said, but like, if you have any like drive or passion to do something, go for it. Yes, it might be so scary at the start, but it could always come out 10 times better. And COVID is definitely one thing that I did not expect to bless my life in this way. If there was anything, I did not expect it to be a good thing, but it ended up actually being really great after lockdown. So yeah, that's me. Hopefully. Yeah.
That is amazing. Honestly, I completely agree in terms of how something that has been so like earth-shaking, I would say, right, has forced me to do something that if I'm honest, I've always wanted to be online, but it took 5 years before that. I've been trying online, like for 5 years, it just didn't work. But COVID forced me to have to, I've got no other options. And I guarantee you, if you hear like anybody that was around me that I'm done with business, this is not for me.
I've said that. I've said that. I was like, let's delete it from, like, I'm tired. Throw that app in the bin, man.
I was like, YouTube videos. So it's like literally, it's like the pet talk to a family. I'm like, I'm gonna give up. I literally like bold face say, I'm gonna give up. Leave me alone. And they'll be like, so you're gonna just throw it all? I say, yes, I want to throw it all in the bin.
Yeah. No, I've been there, man. I've definitely been there. It's hard.
Honestly, so I feel you on the whole kind of like coming back on the other side thing and being like, I made it. Like, you know, I really made it. I made it to the other side, and it would have never looked like this had these things not occurred, had the events that forced everybody to change their lives, had it not happened like this, there's just no way that I would have ever got this far this fast. Like you said, there's like 100% 10 years accelerated. Like there's just wouldn't be here. It's just no way. So yeah, it's amazing. In terms of your different businesses and stuff like that, tell us a little bit more about them. How do we kind of like find you and stuff like that?
So so I have a clothing brand called Petit Femme. That's the best one to probably start with. That one's quite cool. It's like one size fits all clothing. You can probably check out our Instagram. Maybe I'll ask if I can link it in the bio or something like that. But it's just kind of cute. I kind of it's really just about feeling like a dollhouse. I mean, it's about feeling like a doll, like a Barbie, like a Bratz. Even my first collection was called Dollhouse Collection. It definitely gave that kind of cute, playful vibe. It's it's not very plain. You have to really be quite out there to wear some of my clothing. But that means I attract some great customers from like overseas who are very eccentric. A lot of them are even Instagram influencers who really like appreciate. Of course, I've done collabs, but some of them generally just buy from our store and just love the pieces. So, and it's quite affordable as well for what you're getting. So definitely you can go check that out. My app, Stelco. So at the moment, as I said, I'm just getting a couple, I've got a couple hundred people on my site actually that you can choose from to work with. However, with customers, we have kindly restricted that for this month. But in August, you'll be completely fine to book whoever you want. It's just that we've added a couple more stylists who needed a separate feature. Basically, a lot of updates have been made. So that's quite that much. I tend to kind of keep it underground till I'm ready to push a lot more. But that will definitely, you probably see that popping up on your Instagram feeds very soon, guys. There's a lot of advertising that we're going to be putting out there this year. So that's great. And the last thing I do is, which is I was just explaining earlier to Korede and stuff, is that I do social media management. So this is my main job, actually, like income is from actually like I work with like 4 or 5 clients, and I do from content branding, posting every day on TikTok and Instagram, like just really growing their brand online, giving them a social media presence, growing their following, and essentially through all that generating them leads. Obviously I had a lot of experience in my own businesses, so just quite naturally people were just like, you do mine as well, I want mine to do that. So it works. So yeah, those are the three things I'm going to. I'm sorry I'm so brief, but in the future I definitely share a lot more. I just but yeah, you'll see a lot more as time goes on, at least, as I said. Yes.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, for me, on top of like having the online tuition, which kind of covers tuition for students between the ages of 7 and like 16, so like year 3 to year 11. We do maths and English in the 11 plus with regards to that, and it's all online, and it's like one-to-one, which again was something that had to change. We didn't do like one-to-one, all of that changed. Like, so the whole new business, like it's not the same. Like it's
sounds lit.
Complete. I tell people I literally started again. Like, just don't even pretend the other one isn't a business anymore. This is a new thing. So, but I have all the experience and the knowledge of the offline one to be able to bring to the online space. But on top of that, I actually run a charity. So starting a charity in the pandemic was one of the most interesting things you could ever do. And it's an international charity. So I'm really passionate about education, and it made me want to then ensure that those on the African continent that can't afford education have access to it in any type of way.
Amen.
So yeah, I started that charity at the end of January, like the 26th of January 2020, we did our launch party, our launch event. You can imagine no one knew what was to come. Literally a month later, we were like preparing, we were talking of lockdown, and a month after that we were in lockdown, and it's like, how do I help anybody from here, you know? But where there's a will, there's a way. Like literally, it felt like we were doing nothing for the most of 2020. But like Serena said, for us in terms of the charity, it made me reevaluate what exactly are we doing? How do we plan on doing this? How do we ensure what we're doing is effective and impactful? I literally went back to the drawing board to recreate like what we're actually doing. And had it not been for that forced downtime, there's just no way we would be like doing what we're doing today. So right now we've just wrapping up one of our projects in Kenya, where we're sponsoring 20 kids to go back to school up until they finish secondary school, and they're like covered completely in terms of like boarding, food, everything like that, all kind of like covered. And we created that program by working with a grassroots company or grassroots charity on ground. And that's something I'm super passionate about. And currently we're fundraising. So if any of y'all want to like come through, I'll send through the GoFundMe and all that kind of stuff. And we're doing a raffle. So companies have donated a few things that we're raffling off to be able to raise the funds for these kids to be able to be covered for the duration of their education. So I'm just, really, and that all happened during the pandemic without being on ground. Like Zoom has been wonderful, like Zoom and all the things that technology has brought has made it clear that the sky is the limit. I think that's my number one takeaway from doing a business and a charity in the pandemic, is that where there's a will, there's a way. The human will, the human ability to adapt is far more than I could ever thought. Like and like, yeah, shout out to the beauty of humanity for that. We would have been extinct if we weren't able to adapt. And I think we still surprise ourselves how we're still able to adapt, but we did it again. We've adapted to this situation, and we've come out on the other side with a lot of learnings, and hopefully better for it in terms of society's access, in terms of being connected, even though we can't be together. So, yeah.
I mean, hearing this, like, obviously I'm in tech, and tech's quite known for like a money-driven, kind of greedy, like everyone wants to be a billionaire kind of. But hearing stuff like that is just like makes you reevaluate, because at the end of the day, like as much as I love my business, like there's only a certain amount that money can do if you're not doing stuff. Like that's absolutely incredible. Just hearing that, literally, I'm listening, I'm like, damn, I definitely have to start giving back, because when you humanity like that leaves a long-lasting impact. It's not just like it's bigger than just you, then you've literally changed so many people's lives, because that person's then gonna change someone else. It's incredible. Like, wow, amen. Like, you gotta tell me, like I do it there, but I feel like for you to dedicate, like, you know, start a whole charity is it's amazing. It's a different That's wow. That's a different type of accomplishment that I believe a salary can't, or revenue can't buy. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks so much. Honestly, I really appreciate that, because that's literally why I think it is, I think, a source of joy that I've never experienced, to be able to do
amazing.
That is beyond myself. It is exhausting, but honestly, like waking up feeling purposeful, you can't buy that.
You can't buy that. It's amazing. Wow, man.
But that it what's in the future though for your business? What should we be expecting in terms of all of your endeavors?
So I was mentioning, so I'll start with the marketing agency. So I do run the marketing agency, however, that's just me. For now, I'm genuinely interested in maybe getting other girls on board, because I've kind of reached my full capacity. Definitely want to target more Black women, teach them the things that I've learned with my social media journey. And then, you can always work with me, because there are people that still inquire, but I'm currently I'm kind of reaching my max point. So if anyone is interested, then you can always contact me. Even just find me on Instagram. My Instagram is SerenaGrant_X. Hit a DM and then I'll respond if you want to get on board. In terms of style code, I really want to. I'm so cautious about saying my goals, because the ones that you aim for something and if it doesn't quite work out, but hey, I'm gonna put it out there. I've actually given myself a goal that by the end of this year, when I have 1,000 people on my service providers on my app, and that means obviously a couple 100,000 users each day. That's actually my goal with my app by the end of this year. Because I've been focused on recruiting, the thing is, like marketplaces, it's kind of like, even if you think of eBay, you first have to have buyers, sellers. So I've been focusing so much at the moment on just recruiting quality people, recruiting them, and definitely in the months to come you'll see a lot more. Okay, I've got like my base, I've got the service providers. As I said, you even watching will probably see a lot of us popping up on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook. Like, we are really trying to push them ads, so you will see us this year. As I said, by the end of this year, I really do want to have quite a big impact, and at least a lot of companies figuring out who I am, and like, Starco, we see them like popping up. There are some bigger companies who are kind of aspired to be like, but not completely like Booksy and Treatwell. Of course, I've got to give them a shout out. They've been there. I do still plan to get a bit bigger due to different things I want to put up, but hopefully that will all unfold in the future, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, with my clothing brand, there'll be some new pieces soon. We are literally on the last couple pieces of each item, like literally like 2 and 3 left, so you can go buy them now if you want. But I'll probably be aiming to get a new collection out for autumn. And I think that's really it. As I said, you can just follow our socials and stuff like that. Go on the journey with us. From my Instagram, you can find a lot of the pages from there. And hopefully you'll see us do some great things and see my business names about. So that'd be very cool. That's where I'm planning to go. But as I said, after hearing Korede, I really feel like I also need to start putting a lot more into impact people's life. So definitely going to be having a conversation about that. Definitely be having a conversation about that. That's for sure. So yeah, awesome.
100%. Yeah, I feel you on that. So yeah, for me, in terms of like Beehive, it's definitely about just growing that. Really creating a space that is really seamless. My goal in terms of business for me is to have something that functions well even without me. That's my I actually want to make myself obsolete. That's my goal. So that's what I'm working towards personally, by ensuring that our systems in place are phenomenal. It's seamless, it's easy. The parents find it really easy to book, really easy to get online, really easy to like leave a review or whatever it is that they need to do, very, very easy. So that's, I think my goal is literally systems this year. But yeah, I think we're on the way, definitely. based on this time last year, I'm gonna say we're on the way. And then for the charity, it is to do to wrap up this current project and then create a space where African focused charities in education can network. I find that there are many people doing their own thing, but they aren't harnessing the power of like the collective, like being able to I feel like people in the charity sector are really passionate, right? But there needs to be more structure within the actual work that they're doing. So to be more impactful, you need to have more of a business side to you. You know, there's more business in there than I think people realize. So creating a space where charities can network with one another and speak to one another, and then start another project for next year would be also so that's where we are.
You're amazing. You're actually amazing. You're very inspiring, that's for sure. Very inspiring.
Honestly, I'm loving it. But honestly, I'm inspired by people like you and people like Dawn as well, who honestly challenge me every single day. So thank you to the amazing women that surround me as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I think that is it for today. I hope to catch you guys again soon. Please do check us out on Instagram. All the links should be in the description box below. Until next time, have an amazing day and we'll catch you again soon. Bye.
Yeah. See you guys. Bye.
Warning.